Hi everyone and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. So I don't know about you, but if you've consumed luxury YouTube for I'd say like 2.5, 3-ish years minimum, I mean you clicked on my video, so chances are this isn't your first foray into luxury YouTube. If it is, I mean, I'm honored. And if this is your first time watching one of my videos, hi, I'm Lesley. So glad to have you, by the way. So I don't know about you, but I certainly, I'd say like over the last year or so, give or take, I certainly noticed a shift when it comes to a lot of creators' perspectives and like approach to luxury, spending habits and all that. And I'm not only talking about the copious amounts of like low buy and no buy year content that generally pops up every January or like towards the end of December. That's only a tiny part of the equation. Even more generally though, I'm talking about, for instance, creators that used to be like smack in the middle, like a core member, if you will, of the luxury community on YouTube, who filmed like unboxings after unboxings and haul videos, huge collections of handbags, basically like turning their back on luxury and being like, okay, no longer serves me, no longer interested, I'm just gonna shift the focus of my content and do something completely different. So essentially I'm gonna explore why I purchase luxury, or why I think I purchase luxury, because I think I can only explain like 70-ish%, and the other 30%, it's not like the reasons that make up the 30% are too embarrassing for me to mention to you, or that they would make me look bad or something like that. It's just like I can't explain 100% of the reasons why I purchase luxury. So yeah, I'm gonna explore, and I did do some soul searching before starting this video. I'm gonna explore why I purchase luxury personally, but equally as important, and this is definitely going to be like an open discussion type of topic. So I would love to hear your thoughts and perspectives in the comments below, and let's keep the discussion going in a nice and respectful way, please. I want my comment section to be a nice place for people to go into. Why do you think people buy luxury? Why do you personally buy luxury? Did you notice a change in your purchasing behavior, or like your approach to buying luxury handbags and like expensive stuff in general? Did you notice a change? What do you think might be the reason other people changed their perspectives? Again, all of that, I would love to continue the discussion in the comments below. And as luxury lovers, I think there might be some misconceptions that other people have about why we purchase luxury, and I'm gonna go into that like in the second part of this video. But first off, let me explore why I purchase luxury. I'm gonna try to not tiptoe around some of the aspects that I want to talk about in this video too much, because I know that can be annoying, but at the same time, like in return, please promise that you're not gonna put every single word that I'm saying in this video on a gold scale, okay? Let's get into why I think I buy luxury. For me personally, and that's what I like came up with in my soul searching, it's a combination of things. Number one, I think I've always had kind of like collector tendencies. Hear me out, it's not like a hoarder nightmare kind of situation. I've always been super specific on what I want to collect. Back in the day, like when I was a kid, don't judge me, I had a collection of, at some point I think max was like a little over 400 keychains. Yeah, I had them neatly organized once a year, twice a year. I looked at my entire collection, obviously I added throughout the year, looked at my collection, and maybe at one point I had them like organized in different plastic containers by how much sentimental value they hold to me. Then I maybe like rearranged them by color, like a year down I rearranged them by some other metrics. So I don't know, the act of collecting something that I'm interested in. Plus, I mean, I didn't even use them. Back then, like that was at an age where maybe I had the key to the lock for my bike, but I definitely didn't have a key to our door yet. So I didn't need a keychain, maybe one for my bike, but I didn't need 400 keychains, and I didn't like change out of my keychains. They are purely for collection purposes. So you can say I progressed, because nowadays I like actually use my handbags. I don't just collect them and have them sit on a shelf. I actually use them, which is great. Pat on the back. All right, so we have established that I have a thing for collecting stuff. Not stuff, specific items. But how did we get from keychains? By the way, probably oversharing, and if there's any armchair therapists out there wanting to analyze and like judge my collection tendencies, I don't know, go ahead, go nuts. But anyway, how did we get from keychains to handbags? Luxury handbags, that is. Number one, I like pretty things. And whenever I like pick out a bag to go with my outfit and I carry a bag, my mood instantly lifts at least by 50%. Again, armchair therapist, go ahead, because how can things like inanimate objects make us feel so much better? I don't know, but what I do know is that it works and that they make me happy, and that is amazing. That doesn't explain yet why I go to high tier luxury brands as opposed to like mid-range brands, but I think we're gonna get there. So they make me happy. And which is also the reason why I don't feel the need or like the desire to buy luxury ready-to-wear, handbags will always fit. Especially when you spend a significant amount of money, I want to make sure that I'll be able to wear that bag 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, if I like take decent care of it, of course. So that's also, as I said, one of the reasons why luxury ready-to-wear doesn't really tempt me, because I can't be trusted to be the same size that I am even like 2 years down the line. Like my weight fluctuates depending on my mood and like a bunch of other factors. And just like the thought of spending, let's say like 3K on a blazer or a dress, only for it to not fit me like 2 years down the line. And realistically, how often do you wear like super expensive, like ready to wear pieces? Maybe within the span that I'm still able to fit in that dress, I would have worn it 3 times. That's like, from a cost per wear perspective, 1K per wear until it's no longer fitting me. That would break my heart. So yeah, I can't be trusted to be the same size. And even if I was the same size that I am right now for the rest of my life, doesn't necessarily mean that a dress, a blazer, pair of pants that objectively fits me will make me feel the same way. Because, I mean, again, armchair therapist, go nuts. My mood and my body image can change so much, and one day or like 1 week, I might be, the dress, like that Louis Vuitton dress, whatever. I've never even tried on a Louis Vuitton dress. Makes me look amazing. I love it. I feel so great. Then like the next week, I could be like, I look disgusting without my body having changed at all. But my mood has changed so much. That generally doesn't happen with bags. So yeah, bags are just like a safe choice, I guess, when it comes to spending that amount of money on an inanimate object. I would much rather put that money towards a bag that I know will fit me, that will make me feel good, and overall has a longer lifespan and lifetime. That leads me on to the next point, lifespan. As I said, ideally, if I made the right choice in terms of bags that, like from a style perspective and like practicality perspective, work for me, I want to make sure that I'll be able to use and wear that bag and it's still looking somewhat decent in like 10 years, 15 years down the line. While it's definitely not guaranteed, especially with the talk about like quality issues and everything, it's not guaranteed that just because a bag is expensive that it's gonna hold up better than a bag that costs like 1/10 of the price. But I think the chances of a bag surviving a lot are still higher the higher you go when it comes to the price tag. I might be wrong on that, let me know your thoughts, but that's also one of the ways I at least try to justify spending that amount of money on a bag, because I want to make sure that I'll be able to wear that bag years to come, and the chances that I'll be able to get there before like the bag like falls apart on me is higher when I go to higher tier luxury. Let me know if you agree or not. That being said though, some mid-range brands are pretty comparable to like the level of quality and like craftsmanship and everything that goes into higher tier luxury bags. So why is it that I don't have the same like desire to buy mid-range designer brands? I mean, I do own a couple. I own a Kurt Geiger bag, I own numerous Longchamp bags. I used to own an Esplanade of London bag. I didn't sell it for quality issue reasons. It just like didn't work for me like structure-wise. So I do own a couple of mid-range designer bags, but they don't give me the same amount of joy as luxury bags do. Why is that? And that's where it gets a little like wishy-washy and maybe a little uncomfortable, and maybe that's where the missing 30% comes in, that I can't fully explain why I have this like draw to high-tier luxury brands. But Here's what I can say. I would be lying if I said the brand name doesn't do anything for me, because it does. Not from a showing off perspective by any stretch of the imagination. If I can say you one thing for sure, it's that I don't wear bags to impress other people or like to set myself apart from other people. I wear luxury designer bags for myself and myself only. I can confidently say I don't buy luxury bags because I want to feel better than someone else, because it's an object. How can an object make you feel superior to someone else? Anyway, I'm gonna touch base on that a little further down the line in this video. What those high-tier luxury brands usually come with, what the like more contemporary brands are lacking, is history. Especially when a brand dates back to like the 1800s. There's just like so much history. The brands evolved. They had to pivot multiple times. So for instance, Louis Vuitton, Goya, Moana, they all come from trunk making and then evolved. Moana struggled a little bit, basically like vanished from the face of the earth. I think, was there like some insolvency situation going on? Anyway, so they made a comeback, and now like they're such a prestigious brand because they still tie back to like their origin in the 1800s, like from trunk making, and you can definitely see that reflected in some of their bag designs. I love Moana. At some point I think I'm gonna have to add a Moana bag to my collection, because their bags are just so stunning. In particular the Gabrielle bag, I adore that bag. Anyway, not the point of this video. So trunk making brands, let's group them together like that. They have such a huge and like rich history, and I just think it's so fascinating and so interesting to see where the brands come from and seeing some of their current designs still tying back to their origin. I mean, talk about origin. Hermes obviously comes from like the equestrian side of things and obviously branched out significantly, but still they tie back and definitely still embody the equestrian vibe. Chanel, as controversial as Gabrielle Chanel might be in some aspects, you can't deny the fact that she was hugely successful and paved the way for so many women in fashion. Gucci, which I think I've been vocal about Gucci not being necessarily a brand that I'm overly interested in, but when I went to the Gucci Cosmos exhibition in London last year and they talked about Gucci and how he founded his brand and how he got the idea to like start the brand while he was working in the Savoy Hotel in London, and how like influences or like things that he saw during his time in London and that he noticed were things that interested the upper class that realistically were his clientele or like goal clientele. Those aspects being reflected in even like bag designs today, I just find it so fascinating. Heck, I mean, I collect Hermes magazines, and some of my collection dates back to the 1970s. So you can say I geek out about fashion and brand history, and the older the brand and the more prestigious the brand, which also reflects on the price tag, the richer the history. And I think it's just like so fascinating to hold a bag in your hands and this aspect ties back to the trunk making, or this aspect is because back in the day the HAC, like basically similar shape to the Birkin, but the proportions were kind of different. That was basically the precursor of the Birkin, and I find it so interesting. So that's definitely not the main reason why I'm overly interested in luxury, like expensive high-tier designer brands, but definitely one of the reasons, because you just don't get that kind of rich history with brands like Esplanade of London. I think they were founded in 2002 or something like that. Still, that's a long time to be in business, and they're doing amazingly, and their bags are beautiful, don't get me wrong, but there isn't that much history to talk about. Two more aspects that are part of the reason why I buy luxury handbags. Number one, and I think Amelia from Amelia Rose's Closet, she filmed somewhat of a similar video. I'm gonna, if I remember which video that was in, I'm gonna link it down below. I think she said something similar. As I said, I don't buy luxury and I don't carry luxury brands as a way to set myself apart from others, because I want to buy something that other people can't afford. Honestly, I have enough on my plate already. The last thing I want to do is think about other people's personal finance. Why would I? I'm not interested. So I can safely say I buy bags for myself and myself only. Not to compare myself to others, but kind of to compare myself to past Lesley, like younger Lesley, because I definitely don't come from money. I didn't grow up around like Birkins left and right. All of the luxury items in my collection, not just bags, but also jewelry and all that, I've worked for. And those are items I certainly wasn't able to afford 10 years ago or something like that. And yeah, even like right now, if I had maybe not worked as hard, and I'm not saying that working hard immediately like guarantees you success, because unfortunately there are so many factors that play into it. Your upbringing, how stable your household was, how supportive your parents were, not even like monetarily, but like mentally supporting. I don't know, that's a topic that I don't even want to get into, but all of that to say is I worked hard and I'm at a point where I wouldn't be financially and in many other ways if I hadn't worked that hard, if that makes sense. And that gives me some sense of accomplishment, that I can afford stuff now that my younger self wasn't able to afford. Yeah, I think if you've worked hard for something, you can be proud of it, but yeah, hopefully I don't come across as preachy or like... Anyway, so sense of accomplishment, that's one thing. And that also ties into the next one is generally not all of my handbag purchases, but a good amount of my handbag purchases are for special occasions. Sometimes those are birthdays. I tend to buy myself something for my birthday. I mean, it's not a huge accomplishment to be getting a year older, I guess, but at least like it's a special occasion. So for instance, let's see, I bought my Ferragamo Studio bag for my, 28th birthday, I want to say. I bought my Van Cleef, not a handbag, but a piece of jewelry, one of my only pieces of fine jewelry in my collection. I adore that bracelet, and you're probably sick and tired of me talking about it, at least when you watch my channel regularly. I bought my Van Cleef for my 27th? 26th? Either of the two. Also, that was my first birthday after starting my like big girl corporate job. So that wasn't only like a birthday present, but also like to commemorate that I'm an adult now and I have a big girl job. So yeah, that was one thing. Also like my like purple colored MCM Mila bag. I've hardly ever worn that bag for a number of years. It's still in my collection because I have like this emotional attachment. I bought that after a huge like uni milestone. My Chanel Classic Flap I bought myself for my graduation. I mean, okay, I bought it a year before my graduation because I was afraid of price increases and everything. Plus, I mean, I knew that I would graduate down the line regardless. So it's safe to say that I do tend to like want to commemorate special occasions or like special accomplishments with handbag purchases. Not saying that's necessarily, because reaching a personal goal should be the reward in itself, but to add an additional layer of reward, I sometimes want to reward myself. How many times can you say reward within one sentence? Wow, great. Anyway, I think you get where I'm coming from. So I think all of those aspects looked at together and merged together are kind of, as I said, maybe like 70%. Maybe like in real time while I'm talking to you and filming this video, maybe I've uncovered like an additional 5% of the reasons. So maybe we're at like 75% of the reasons why I purchase and like why I'm interested and why I feel drawn to luxury handbags. And the remaining reasons, I don't know. I think I have to do some additional soul searching. But anyway, if you've made it this far, I applaud you. I know, I mean, going into this video, I kind of knew that it was probably not going to be like a super straightforward and structured video. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you're still here, that I guess tells me one of two things. Either you started this video before you jumped in the shower and you just didn't want to reach out of the shower to skip to another video, which I understand, or you're actually enjoying this video. Either way, I would love for you to consider subscribing and also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Both of those things are absolutely free, but it would mean so much to me. Anyway, part 1 of this video done and dusted. Don't worry, the part 2 won't be as long, but I still wanted to touch base on a couple of maybe misconceptions or like allegations, sometimes not too nice comments that some people in the luxury community get from other people. Even from people sometimes that are also buying luxury, but also people that maybe just don't get why we're that obsessed or like interested in luxury handbags. And I think those kind of comments fall in either of two categories. Generalizing here, I mean, there are lots of other comments that you could be faced with, either like online or even in person. Some people have judgmental people in their circle, I guess. I'm lucky in the sense that yeah, my family doesn't necessarily get why I spend that much money on handbags, but they see that it means something to me and that they make me happy, and that's all they want. And yeah, my friend circle and everything, they are understanding, or they're also into luxury. Anyway, so 2 categories that I was able to make out. Category number 1 is the, oh, you only buy luxury because you think you're better than others and you want to feel superior and you want to make other people feel inferior by them seeing that you carry a bag that they aren't able to afford, that kind of situation. Category 1. Category 2, people who buy luxury are deeply lonely, they are trying to fill a void, they are empty inside, they use like shopping as a coping mechanism, they should better invest their money in therapy, that kind of category of comments. Goes without saying that those type of comments say so much more about the person commenting that than the people the comment is directed at. Goes without saying, right? Anyway, I touched base on the category 1 of the like buying luxury to make yourself feel superior towards like over other people. Also, I mean, inevitably, once you're in the comparison game, it never only goes like one direction in terms of like, okay, I can afford more than that person. When you're in the comparison game, it goes both ways, and there's always going to be someone who can afford more than you. And then what? Then you're in like a vicious cycle, or you're super miserable. I don't know, you go into debt because you want to keep up with the Joneses. It's just like you're setting yourself up for failure if you're only buying bags for like outward reward and like to make other people feel inferior, because inevitably you're going to feel inferior towards someone that can afford way more than you. So yeah, category number 1, done and dusted. I mean, on all of these aspects, I can only scratch the surface level. Again, open discussion, so leave your thoughts down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, category number 2, and I appreciate I've been talking for ages, so I'm going to try to wrap it up here. Category number 2, the people who buy luxury have some issues category. Let's put it that way. First and foremost, I'm no mental health expert. A few thoughts though. Number 1, we all have our battles to fight. The more personal the battles are, the more privately we fight them. So before you judge someone and say like, yeah, she's only buying those bags because she's deeply insecure, so sad and like discontent with her life, and she uses the bag as escapism or a coping mechanism, so what? It doesn't hurt you, does it? I mean, if those bags make someone feel better and don't like lead to new problems such as like credit card debt, overconsumption, all that. If people buy bags within their means to make them feel better, what is the issue? I mean, I can raise my hand and say, I mean, I did say it at the beginning. Bags make me feel better. And that's great. I mean, what's wrong about that? Obviously, if there are like deeper rooted issues, like actual like mental health issues, bags won't fix your problems. No way. But if they help you along the way, while you're probably going to therapy, if they help you along the way, what's wrong with that? I think that's amazing. I mean, there are probably other things that you can buy that are maybe less expensive, but if it's within your means, go nuts. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if you have some issues, let's just like broadly say that without any judgment, again, please don't put my words on a gold scale. Buying bags is pretty harmless. There are a lot of substances that I can't say out loud without YouTube like banning or like demonetizing me. In the grand scheme of things, being addicted, using the term very loosely here, addicted to bags isn't that bad, is it? Okay, next off this like bags to fill a void kind of comment. I mean, there have been multiple articles about how Gen Z is the loneliest generation and all that. I mean, I'm not Gen Z. I'm a little older than that, but still, I mean, the issues that Gen Z is facing and Gen Z basically grew up with still very much apply to other generations. Millennials for sure, because hi, I'm a millennial, and I mean the root cause and the root issue is social media. The amount of time we spend on social media, all of those apps. I mean, I think I deleted the TikTok app mid-2023. I've never been overly active on there anyway, and I don't even want to get into the habit of like mindlessly scrolling. I'm doing that on Instagram, thank you very much. I don't need an additional app. I mean, I know like from a creative perspective, TikTok is definitely the place where you can grow most, but I think like weighing the pros and cons of TikTok, I think I did good in actually deleting the app. Anyway, social media kind of contributes to us being lonelier than ever. Not just Gen Z, any generation. So I can definitely see people turning to inanimate objects again. That doesn't have to be luxury handbags, but if you have an appreciation for pretty things to begin with, maybe that's the avenue that you're going for. Maybe bags are a way to fill a void. I totally get that. And I'm just gonna admit it, I've been known to make some, usually they were like impulse purchases, not handbags, but a twilly to make me feel better, a pair of earrings because I was feeling down that day. Yes, it's not the most healthy coping mechanism, but there are worse. There are definitely worse coping mechanisms. So those are my thoughts. This was probably a super long video. If you've made it until the end, I appreciate you so much. Again, please consider subscribing. Let me know if you want me to film more of these like more commentary leaning videos. I'd be down for that. But I appreciate that my train of thought sometimes is a little all over the place. So I don't know if I'm like the go-to person to film these like video essays, I guess. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, and also, as I said, open discussion. This is definitely a topic that I'm kind of interested in. Otherwise I wouldn't have spent like, geez, hopefully we're not at like 45 minutes at this point. Otherwise I wouldn't have spent a long time talking about this topic. So share your thoughts, share your perspective, maybe your own experience, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm gonna catch you in one of my next videos. Bye.